All right, welcome back to another episode of the Real Deal Podcast with myself, B. Haley, and
Mr. Cleon Deal.
Mr.
Happy to be here, man.
And it's been a few weeks.
It's been a few
weeks. Well, we finally got a guest on the show. We started running out of things to talk about, so we was like, hey.
Brendan never runs out of things to talk about. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, certified yapper since the age of 2. So we got Tarik here, my man. What up?
What's up, family?
So for those of you that do know, I did tear my ACL a long time ago. Then I had surgery about a year ago, and then did my PT rehab at what's that place called?
It won't be mentioned.
Oh, yeah. one of those big places. Anyways, he's not even there anymore. So I guess whenever I left, that was his last patient there. He said, "All right, I'm leaving with you, going somewhere else." But he did all my physical therapy there. So he's a great coach, filmmaker,
Yes.
amateur filmmaker. Is that the correct term?
Well, amateur going in, but once you make your first one,
Okay.
veteran, man.
Okay, so now he's a veteran filmmaker.
There
He
we
did
go.
make a short film already, which I did see. What was that film festival that?
Tampa Bay Underground Film Festival.
Yeah, so that was really cool. We got to watch a lot of cool films. One really bad film, but it wasn't his. his film was good. There was another good one. And then there was like somebody had a film on there from like 1998 or something. I'm like,
On the camcorder.
I swear to God, no. I was like, why is this even have this?
Okay.
Even, I think the filmmaker was like someone who's been around for a long time, so
Yeah.
they were just doing him
They like a real vintage look on it.
It was terrible. The acting was crazy, and it's like they're squirting ketchup packets out for blood. Not
right.
really, but that's like what it looked like. But, anyways, thank you for healing my knee. I just want to make sure that we're on record for that. Thank you for being a part of the process of healing my knee.
You see that?
Yeah.
I had to threaten.
You see how
Yeah,
that
me
works?
say thank you. I made sure to tell him before this started. He never told me thank you.
And pushing me, and I will never wear a 60-pound weight vest ever again in my lifetime for as long as I live. Thank you.
60?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, just putting it on. Like, my shoulders are hurting, bro. He's like, all right, go do your split squats. I'm like, what? He's like, do your step ups. I'm like, with this thing on? I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
60. Yeah. So,
I don't remember doing that when I tore my knee up.
yeah, it wasn't many people doing
They
it.
were probably nice to me out there.
Nah. It wasn't many people doing it. But he's like, you gotta get stronger. I'm like, hey, man, sure. But I was there, so I had to do it.
You had to do it.
And yeah, I'll never wear a 60-pound weight vest ever again. But other
Scarred
than that,
for life. Scarred.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I like the 25-pound weight vest
Nah.
are in the good range. But enough of us. Let's give a quick introduction. Because you've lived a lot of life, more life than me, and I feel like I'm pretty old nowadays. So
This man keep making me like I'm old.
Keep making you old, man.
Keep making me like I'm so old.
you're older than me. I got to make someone else feel what I feel every week when we start talking. And I'm like, I've been around for a long time. I feel like, it's like, man, 31 years old, almost 30.
Oh, yeah. You coming up on it. man.
Almost 32. I'm going to go shave, and then I'm going to look like I'm 21 again, so we good.
Well, I always get compliments because sometimes people think I'm like in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
They think I'm like 26, 27. And then when they find out I'm 36,
Yeah, they're
they're
like,
like,
what?
"Boy."
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's a
so
good
yeah,
genes.
and we all got good genetics in here.
Yeah.
You know what they say.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Shut up.
All right, but Tarik, go ahead, give us a little background. Where were you born? Were you born here?
So I'm a military brat.
Okay.
I was born in the middle of nowhere, which is South Dakota.
Ah, yeah.
Shout out to South Dakota, middle of nowhere.
real.
So moved around for a little bit. Both my parents were in the service. They met each other in the service. They went to the cooler places like Germany and all that before I came to this earth. Mm-hmm. But I did get to live in Panama. I've been in South America, Ecuador, Costa Rica, all those places. Mm-hmm. And then we eventually ended up here. My little brother was born here, and we call Tampa home now.
Okay.
Did you have to learn Spanish living in those places?
I didn't. My parents did. They don't speak anymore, but they did.
Okay.
They used to be able to speak a little. They used to be able to survive. I'll say that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Manageable.
Manageable. But being in Panama was beautiful. I still remember it. You know, being there was beautiful. Saw all kinds of wildlife and all kinds of good stuff right there. But it was beautiful though. So
Cool.
yeah.
And then you came. When did you come to Tampa? What year?
We came to Tampa like 96, 97.
Oh, okay, 96,
Yeah.
97.
Yeah.
Jordan back to back.
Yeah.
96.
Well, basketball was good. You know? But like seeing all the changes like in Tampa, where it used to be, you know, before it was Amalie Arena, was St. Pete Times. I can't remember what it used to call the stadium there where the Lightning used to play. There was like no Lightning fans. Bucks tickets were like $10. They were begging people to come to the Bucks games.
No, I don't.
You know,
Tampa has been growing rapidly over the past 10 years, so that is good. And then I know then you went to Auburn to become a PT?
Well, no. So my undergrad was in Florida Southern, but of my senior year, we had to do an internship at a bigger school. And then that's when I went to Auburn, and I picked the year Cam Newton was there.
Hey.
Shout out War Eagle. I picked the year Cam Newton was there, so you know how that went.
Yeah, I do know how that went. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We already talked about that. Unfortunately, that was the year that Auburn beat Oregon in the BCS National Championship.
Yeah, well, Auburn was different that year,
We were
man.
different. I remember they were saying, "Oh man, how's Auburn going to be able to handle this speed?" I said, "Boy, they big and fast."
They're big and fast. And that game proved that Oregon was just fast.
That's why Brandon probably be low key hating on me because of that game.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was on the sideline of that game.
Yeah.
I was there.
It's probably your fault. This is how many national championships we got.
Well, man.
Y'all look good though. Y'all always got
The
nice
jerseys is
uniforms.
like that, though.
Hey, as long as we look
You
good,
look good
man.
though, at least.
At least we look good. That's what I tell everybody. I was like, hey, man, at least we look good doing it. That's
Y'all
all
don't wear the
that
same uniform twice. All right.
You know, I don't know if you've seen it, but Cam's been in a little bit of heat right now in the media right now. I don't know if you've seen this whole Cam Newton Jalen Hurts debate that's happening right now.
I haven't seen that debate. The last time I saw him, he was wearing some choice things, and I was like, you know, I mean, to each his own, but that's a big dude to be wearing. You know, like,
Well, they're fighting about who's the better quarterback right now, Prime Cam or Jalen Hurts. I don't know how you feel about that being a Auburn alum.
I'm gonna have to pick Cam.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to pick Cam.
Yeah.
You know, to me, you know, I'm probably saying this because I'm an Auburn fan, but Jalen Hurts just has a punchable face.
it's because he's light skinned.
No. He just had, it's probably because of Alabama. History. He
Alabama,
just got a punchable face. You know, like something about that guy. But I will put him on my fantasy team.
Oh yeah.
I will put him on my fantasy.
Oh yeah, he get some push touchdown.
Yeah, I was hoping they banned it. I wanted them to ban that because I hate that play so much.
How many? He got like what 8 to 10 last year from the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Hey man.
On
Could
fantasy,
you
he's basically a
imagine?
quarterback and a running back, like in one.
Yeah. Could you imagine if Saquon got those extra 8 to 10 instead of him?
Yeah.
He would have had
Yeah.
even crazier year.
Exactly. But I would still put him, like I said, on a fantasy team. But other than that, you know.
Interesting.
But I'm about to go with Cam though.
Yeah.
Fantasy is around the corner. We just did our draft positions. I got number 5,
How many people in the league?
12.
See, I you know what? The guys in my league, I asked them. I said, "Hey, I volunteer to go number 12." They were like, "No, Tarik, we're gonna have a vote." I was like, "Bro, let me go 12."
12 ain't a bad pick this year.
It's not a bad pick.
12 ain't a bad pick this year with the people that are going to be falling due
Yes.
to like lack of production last year, like CMC and
Yeah. I just like that turnaround.
Yeah.
You're going to get 2 pretty good picks right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll go 12.
The first 5 are really good, so I'm like, I think I'm going to stay at that position because somebody wants to trade me for the ninth position. So
I would take the 9th seriously.
I'm debating.
I would.
I got to do some more things, but you can either get Gibbs, Saquon, or what's the Falcons running back?
Bijan.
Robinson.
I don't think Saquon's going to do what he did.
But I think someone will pick him early before 5. So I'm hoping Jahmyr Gibbs falls to 5.
He could. Well, it depends on who's in your league.
Yeah, we used to go running back heavy, but I just don't see anybody not. I don't see anybody not taking Chase and Jefferson in those top 5. Like they got to take those. So I'm assuming that. So I'm assuming I'm gonna get one of those 3 running backs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, more than likely.
At least for the first one. And Gibbs is Bijan's actually nasty too, but Gibbs is also nasty. So if Monty ever goes
and he's
down,
on the better team right now.
Yeah, and he's on a good team.
Yes. If you could turn around and get Monty like in, let's say, round 8.
Yeah. Get them both, yeah.
And you good then. So
100%. All right, moving on. We like to talk about relationships, and every week we talking about either ours, somebody else's that we don't know, or people's that we do know. So, I know you've been in a few. I know. We talked about a couple.
Yeah.
You know, at least I know the last one, but we don't want to talk about that one just yet. Could you tell us? Because you're 36, right?
Yes. Not 37.
Not 37. Yeah, I try and give him extra year, y'all. My fault. 36 years old, single. What is it like living in this culture that society has created, like this little hookup culture, being 36 and single? What's like your mentality on dating now?
Well, that's a very good question. I think, and I know we're using it right now. It's not to bash it. But I do think with the invention of technology, i.e. social media, has complicated a lot of things on a lot of levels. Because if you look back before then, like our parents, their parents, you only interacted really with the people who you saw every day.
Yep. Correct.
That's who you knew. Now, if you're in Tampa, you can interact with somebody in Italy, South Korea, Germany, wherever. Now, because you have so much access to so many people, I do think that it warps your mindset to a point of expectations of the realities of what you can get and not get.
Yep.
So, to me, sometimes that I do wish that the world could be different in the aspect that social media didn't tamper with that, because I feel like even though it was supposed to bring human interaction closer, it kind of made people more distant. Yeah,
and makes expectations a lot more, I guess, hard, like a lot harder.
Yes, and I say that as a precursor to the fact is that now coming into a relationship, because my mother's a minister. I grew up a PK kid, so it's like that's also tough in itself because of the expectations, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have those expectations up upon you. But you always have to be mindful of what you're doing, whether people are watching or not, because you want to have a good name. A good name is
as a fellow preacher's kid. I understand.
You understand
where you're coming from.
Yes, you understand.
Because we get a bad rap. We get a bad rap. They try to say we worse. I'm like, we just kids still. You just hold us to a higher expectation.
Exactly. And it's like if you do the same thing, you get caught. It's like worse.
Yeah, way worse.
Way worse. Yeah. And they hold it over your head for forever. So I think that, going back to relationships, it's tough.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to find somebody. Even the people who say, I don't need nobody, I'm happy being single, whatever. That may be their point. It's true. But there's a part of them where they wouldn't mind having somebody. I firmly believe that. Because one of the worst forms of punishment is exile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do think it is hard to relate because I'm very old school. Like, if I meet a woman, I want to talk to your mom. I want to talk to your dad. If I ever was asked for hand in marriage, like I did before, I always spoke with the father. The father's not there, then I'm going to speak with the relative who is kind of over her.
The man in the house.
The man in the house. So I'm very old school, and I feel like, I know social media is a tool. We use it for a tool. But when it comes to Tarik himself, I don't mind turning the phone off. I don't mind. I have my Instagram notifications off. So I have to go onto an app to see notifications. You know what I mean? Because I don't, my life is not driven by validation and other stuff like that. So I guess like I'm an outlier in a way because I don't have this massive following. I don't have this big following. And even if I did, I wouldn't post my whole life on there.
Right.
I would post things on there as they come. But I'm more so like grounded in it's grounded people who are just easy to relate to. And you feel like something as simple as that would be easy to find, but I think it's very challenging.
It is.
Yeah. Nowadays it is a lot different because people can say one thing and mean a whole different other thing, or they can say one thing to your face and be doing a whole nother other thing. So it's like it is a it is a crazy culture that we live in.
Yeah.
But you said that a lot. You don't need it for validation. So you think that a lot of people use social media for like their own self-validation?
Of course. I mean, as human beings, who wouldn't like a post that has 500 likes?
Yeah, of course.
Anybody would like that, you know? Who wouldn't like a following of 1 million people? Anybody would like that, you know? So it's not saying that it's not good. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, but what it takes precedence over your self-confidence.
Yeah.
Which affects your self-esteem, that's dangerous. And I think a lot of people, they, if you fall victim to someone else's validation, then you're forever a slave to it.
So do you think that it's mostly women that use social media for self-validation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it's not to pick on my ladies, but from what I see, it is easier for. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's easier for a woman to get a lot of validation through through objectifying herself. I mean, it's easy. I mean, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't even look for this stuff, but on Instagram, my feed is like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then sometimes, as men, you see something that looks good, attractive. You're like, oh, whatever like this. And then next, 1 hour goes by, 2 hours goes by, 3 hours go by. So it's like it is easier.
You're not allowed to like those because then your algorithm starts showing more and more.
No, I don't.
That's why my whole algorithm is just Philip Anthony Mitchell preaching and yelling at me. So I'm like, all right.
He's good. That's 1928.
28?
Yeah. My dad loves him too. Right? He's good. He's good.
No nonsense, no BS. So I like that.
Yeah.
I also agree. Women women will use social media a little bit more for self-validation, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. They're still going to do that. And I think the problem with guys is that we use women for our own self-validation and to increase our self-confidence. Because, like regular old locker room talk, the main things that you talk about is how many women you sleep with, the kind of money you're making, cars, it's all like that. And, if you can sleep with a hot girl, you're a cool person. Your self-validation goes up. So it's like, that's where the guys get it wrong.
Yes.
Guys, I don't think that we care too much, or as much as, a post getting 500 likes or whatever it may be.
No.
I think we grow up with this mindset of like, oh, I can bag the baddest. I'm the man. I can bag multiple women in the same day. I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we go wrong with our self-validation. It's like we can do all these things, but in reality, you just create multiple soul ties with people that you don't have no plan to see in the future.
Agree.
So I think that's one of the guys' biggest problems in this culture that we got now. And then it damages these women. Yeah. And then they want to go get more self-validation. So it's just that little cycle of, hey, you keep using women and now they go and get more validation and then someone else uses them. And that's why it's so important to just hit and heal.
Yes.
Do your thing. So
yes.
That's my 2 cents on that.
Yes. No, and I agree 1,000%. And that's why I said if you're not careful, if you find validation in things like that, you can become a slave to it. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think if you're not aware of that, it's easy to fall into that trap. Mm-hmm. And then because one challenge, I would challenge people. Let's say it's one thing if it's for your business, then that's hard to do. But if it's not for your business, it's for your entertainment, I would say, okay, don't go on Instagram for a whole week. Mm-hmm. Just keep it closed. Don't go on it for a whole week. I don't think a lot of people could do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about people who have it as their business or who have it like what we're doing now. But just people who just go on there strictly for entertainment. I would challenge them. Don't go on there for a whole week.
That's tough. I was like, I don't even know if I could do a whole week. But I know a lot of people do it and they say like, oh, it's so good to do that. Have like a social media cleanse and all that. But it's like, a week would be tough. A week would be tough. I go a day.
He said, I do it when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, I go a day. But that's that.
No.
So tell us a little bit about when you got married, and kind of a little bit about that story. What you learned the most from that story, and if you think you'll ever get married again or not.
So I got married in right before COVID. I got married and divorced before COVID hit. So literally, my divorce was filed and done like before the country shut down, before COVID. I met her through a colleague from work. It was actually her stepdaughter. She had introduced us, and then we had linked. It was good and everything in the beginning, and then the connection was there. Everything's all nice and beautiful in the beginning.
Always.
Then when I felt like it was in my heart and spirit that okay, this is a woman for me. I eventually asked her. Her father was very fond of me. I've tried to find blessings in everything because her father did teach me some business things. Like after knowing him, I started my own LLC. I had got a couple trademarks. So there was good things that came from there.
Right.
And then once we got married, the ceremony was good. My mother, her grandmother was a minister. My mother was a minister. They both did it together. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was a very big wedding. And then the marriage started happening. Some reality started setting in. And I kid you not. And when I say this, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect. We all have our quirks and stuff. But one of the main reasons why the marriage ended, and I kid you not, there was no abuse. Nobody put hands on nobody, nothing like that. There was nothing. Nobody cheated on. I didn't cheat on her or anything like that. It was literally because I spent time with my little brother. I kid you not. And she knew from the beginning. I'm a very family oriented person. Like if I'm not out with some friends and stuff on the weekend, I'm usually at my parents' house, just chilling, doing some work or just being around their presence. Yeah. And literally because I spent time with my little brother, which I was already doing before I met her, while we were dating, and then I was still doing. It wasn't like every day because I was married to this young lady and we lived together. But if it's like on a weekend, Saturday night, we got some plans lined up. We're going to dinner or some fancy thing, and I would say, "Hey, I'm going to play basketball or go skating with my little brother." That was an issue, and I'm like, "Wouldn't it be nice, like just for a couple hours, to say, okay, get out the house. I'm gonna go do this or go see this." And it was little things like that. And my brother, we have a 12-year difference between us. So him being 12 years younger than me, I can't just get married and say, "All right, peace," because I'm in a tricky role to him. I'm his brother, but I'm like his
like a mentor too.
Too. So if you just remove me completely from him, being that age, because at that time I was 20? I don't remember, 28 or so. But Hassani, how old you were like?
I was 18,
17 or so.
Especially like those ages too.
Yeah. So just for me, just to up and leave, and it's all right. See you later. I couldn't do that.
So let me ask. So number one, how long were you married?
I was married for about a year and change.
Yeah. And then, so did your significant other, did she have friends or anybody that she was close to who maybe she could have went and spent time with while you were out doing this?
Oh yeah, she had a stepbrother and a younger sister who she was very close to. She had friends who became some of my friends at the time, and she had some good people around her. Oh yeah.
So she just, what was it? It was like I felt excluded from that, or what exactly? This is just very interesting as the issue.
Come to find out, in her head, she had this vision of we were going to be traveling and doing all kinds of stuff because she would frequently say, "Oh, I saw this couple doing this," and it comes back. I'm like, "Where you see them?" Social media.
Yeah, that expectation.
So it was the expectation of, oh, when we get married, we're going to be doing this, blah, blah. Not saying we wouldn't, but like she came in with X amount of debt. And I'm like, hey, for this first year, because, just being money conscious, I said, how about this first year? We don't have any children or anything. Let's just focus on paying off the debt. We can still go to Miami or Orlando or do things. We can still do things. But as for those big travels, while we pay off the debt, we can save money. So therefore, we can go on a real trip, a nice trip. And we had saved up a good amount of money. And then, literally, the day the day of her last credit card payment to pay it off, That's when we separated. I kid you not. We separated the day, literally, of the last credit card payment.
Yeah, what are the odds of that?
So what were the conversations? That's crazy. What were the conversations like beforehand? Like, because I know one of the big things that I talk to people about is, because I don't know much about marriage. I haven't been married. Everybody around me is like, all my family is married.
Yeah.
I haven't been there. But one of the things that I talk about is having very detailed and open conversations before you get into that.
Yes.
So that expectation that she had, is that something that she was like, hey, so when we get married, this is what I'm planning to do, sort of thing? Or was it just you got married and like, hey, why are we not going here? Like, what was that?
I'm a big fan of premarital counseling. It was a minister who counseled us. We were both Christian, so we got premarital counseling. We talked about everything, everything. And when we got married, and then all of a sudden things shifted, I'm like, we talked about this,
Right.
So it's like we discussed a lot of things. One of the priorities we said was to get out of debt.
Right.
Debt is slavery.
Right.
The debt was something we can manage within a year at that time, and we could still do things. It's not that we were just staying in the house the whole time,
Right.
but it's just like the debt is priority, because once the debt is gone, then the world is ours.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was just a temporary sacrifice to inconvenience yourself to then therefore take off the next year. And while we were paying off the debt, we were able to save a good amount of money that was dedicated to a trip, to where we could just went out there and balled out. That money got split eventually,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. But we were heading down that way, and it's like we discussed a lot of these things ahead of time. And I'm a big fan of premarital counseling. Big fan of premarital counseling. We discussed a lot of things, and it just didn't. Then it's like it's like amnesia set in,
right?
And then it just didn't go that way.
So do you feel like, because obviously with those counseling sessions, I don't, obviously you only get from it what you put into it.
Yes.
So obviously if you go in there and give answers that it seems like everybody wants to hear, like we'll often do in our relationships when we're face to face with our partner, tell them exactly what they want to hear. Obviously on the back end, when the real work has to happen, you're no longer there.
Yeah.
We end up in places like that.
Exactly.
So you feel that, like, was that kind of one of those situations, or did she just change her mind? What do you feel like happened there?
I think that our premarital counseling was brutal. It was brutal. It was like, when you just upset with each other, you'll come in happy, and then sometimes you're like, I can't stand this person. It was brutal. No, it was very brutal.
Yeah.
So it was very needed. I think the thing with both of us, and like I said, I did my little things here. No human is perfect. I'm not here to beat up on her. But I think the thing is that we both went in there with a fantasy.
You're right.
I had my own fantasy, because that's the first time I was ever getting married. I thought it was just going to be, just come in, it's just always love, the food is there, blah, blah, blah. And then things happen, blah, blah, blah. But when the reality, and that's why I said this, so sometimes the visual for what we see in the media doesn't always show all the reality.
Right.
And when you talk to people, like my parents have been married going on 50 years. When you talk to people like that, it's a lot of boring days.
Oh, yeah. Probably most of them.
And most of them are boring days. And now saying that doesn't mean that they're boring people or anything like this, but reality, life is up and down.
Yeah.
It's up and down, up and down. Life is good. God is good. I'm not complaining. But it's a lot of business that needs to be attended to.
Right.
The fun stuff is there, but the fun stuff can't happen all the time. Right. And I think we both went in with fantasy.
Right.
We both did. I did too.
So what were the things that you were expecting from this that you weren't getting?
No arguments. I think that's the biggest thing.
The devil is alive.
So y'all didn't argue during the dating process, really?
We did, but there was it was in a respectable way.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean? It was in a respectable way. When we're starting to argue, and then all of a sudden I hear choice words, choice 4-letter words.
Yeah.
That tends to whoa. It's like, why are you using that language with me? And I still I'm not a fan of that language.
Right.
Please don't use that towards me. That's disrespectful. Then you start yelling, they start yelling, and it gets higher and gets higher, and then nothing gets done.
Right.
So it's I think the biggest thing most men want, and I've heard people say this before, we love, but we love respect.
Yeah, we talk about it. There's an actual book called Love and Respect.
Love and Respect.
Yeah, there's an actual book called Love and Respect,
Yes.
talking about how like guys need respect to feel love, and then women need love, obviously, to feel love. But
Yes.
if you don't respect the man, or if the man feels disrespected, he's not going to give you that love that you want. So it's like constant. They had a word for it, but some sort of cycle that
Yes.
just keeps coming back round and round.
Because
Yeah,
I know what
disrespect
you're
is
talking
crazy.
about.
Yeah.
Because if you look at most, let's say even if you're not married, if you look at most times you got mad with your lady, it came down to something that had to do with respect.
Yeah, most.
And if and if
most
you look
of
at the
the time.
ladies' end, I don't feel loved.
It was I'm pretty sure it was a pastor that wrote the book too. So it's a lot of like
Yeah.
biblical terminology in it based off from the Bible, how marriage and relationships like that should work as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you guys started having issues, obviously both being people who are in church and of that world, did you guys handle those things? Did you guys pray about them together, or like how did that typically go?
We in the beginning, for the first few arguments, we did, and we would usually reach out to like our premarital counselor. She was like a mentor. I call her my auntie. She was like an auntie.
Yeah.
We would reach out to her. She would kind of mediate certain things because we knew how to talk to each other when everything was good.
Yeah.
But
Of
when
course.
stuff gets rough,
Yeah.
and people start talking differently, you're like, I don't understand that language,
Yeah.
And then that's when it got a little turbulent. So, and then progressively, we just lost that level plane of communication, and then that's when everything just spiraled down. And eventually, I do believe that. Come to find out, I was correct. That towards the end, because she had mentioned something about a gentleman from her job.
Nah, there it goes.
You already know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, when we separated, she was dating said person. So you could put in fill in the blanks.
It was another Coldplay concert after that.
There it is. There it is. like how you work that one in there. Oh,
They had a little
Yeah.
the coldest play.
the coldest play, baby.
I found that out through some different wave channels, but yeah.
Interesting. So was that something that you found out that may have been maybe ongoing? Because I find that a lot of times when arguments and stuff like that start to happen, people start to act a little bit different in relationships because there's something in their ear somewhere else. Usually, so if you already talking to somebody on who promising you to work, if you was with me, baby, you know what I'm saying? We be X, Y, and Z. Now she fighting with you because he told her to. So did you find out how long something like that was going on beforehand, or?
It's when I found out later, it made sense,
Right?
Yeah.
Why it happened how it did.
Yeah.
And especially because I remember this one time there was an argument, then at the same time she disappeared.
Oh.
And then it was like, and I'm going around looking, and I just go back home. I'm calling my parents, and disappear, blah blah blah. Then she shows up, and then I'm like, "Who dropped you off?" And then she really didn't answer. I didn't pick into it, and that was one argument there. But her sister couldn't get her because she was somewhere else, and I know her parents didn't do it, and I know my parents didn't do it.
Right. Yeah. So we start narrowing down the options.
Yes, and I narrowed that down when we were already divorced. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, who picked her up that night? And you remember that he was going looking for, and I'm like, who picked her up that night? And I'm like,
Hindsight's always 2020.
hindsight's always someone. And I always tell ladies, I'm like, you ain't got to cheat on me. Just tell, if you don't want me, just tell me.
Right.
That's literally it's so easy. Just like we were talking about a couple episodes. It's like break my heart, but don't waste my time.
Don't waste no.
Break it and move on. That's all it is. Like, you ain't gotta entertain me while you're entertaining somebody else. No, I'm cool. Just break it and leave.
Well, that's-
stop wasting time.
That's the easier thing to do, right?
Yes.
Because you have to come to somebody that you do care about to a certain extent and tell them that you don't want to be there anymore when you could just do this thing secretly. Not that obviously I'm anti-infidelity, saying that for the camera and my lady who watches this. Just make sure we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's the easier thing to do.
Yes.
Is just to go be somewhere else and then come back when you're fine again.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's just how it is.
Yeah, but I feel like you're gonna have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah,
I guess.
Right. I mean, just like we talk about delayed gratification, they're delaying, the uncomfortability. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather push that off until later, or at least until the relationship stalls out, because that's a lot easier, right?
Yes.
If I'm gonna cheat during the relationship, it's a lot easier to just for it to feels a lot. Oh, we just weren't feeling it anymore.
Yes.
You know, that's the easier way to part ways.
Or I've heard sometimes before that sometimes people will bring the relationship to where it's hanging on the thread.
Yeah.
And they're trying to give you the scissors.
Yeah.
Like, here, you
Yeah.
cut it, you cut it, you cut it.
Yeah.
But they're the ones who put it on the thread
Yeah.
and they're dangling in front of you. Like, you cut it, you cut
Yeah,
it.
that's self-sabotaging. I was good at that for a
Well,
while.
that yeah, right. That's also because that's how we get told a lot of guys break up. Like guys never, they talk about guys never break up with women.
I had that problem. I did
Because
have that
we just let the relationship get so bad where they decide to end it, and they think that they're the ones who walked away. If we had dollars for it for every time.
Yes. Here the
I
scissors.
used to be so bad at that. That's why one ended up with me going to jail. So it's like,
Yeah, man.
it's like, you know, it needed to end, but it's like,
Yeah, but I don't want to be the one to end it.
I don't want to be the bad guy. Now I will be the bad guy. I do not care. Whatever you want me to be, I'm gonna be it. But I'm not staying in a relationship that I feel like it's not gonna be good for me.
Right,
No.
right,
It's
right,
not
right.
worth your piece.
Nah,
It's not.
And once you feel, did you ever? So this we were talking about this too a couple weeks ago. It's like, did you ever feel your peace start to leave?
Yes. Because by naturally, what the people I'm close with, you see me.
Yeah.
Like, I joke around. I'm
Yeah.
very laid back. I'm very easy to get along with.
Yeah.
But when you start wearing on my mind and I start becoming mentally fatigued and I start getting out of character, and you still letting, and it's still a choice, because at that time I let that person pull
Right.
me out of character. It's
Right.
not like they had a gun to my head and said, get out of character. You know, I let them pull me out of character. But when somebody is tempting you to do something
Yeah,
that's not you,
yeah.
on a frequent basis, it's probably good to.
Probably good to get out
What
of there.
were you praying during that time to, like, praying for like discernment or clarity?
Yes,
Okay. And then,
that is why I think discernment is very powerful, and it helps having the mother we do, because I always say my mama got a direct connection to God. Like she, I know we pray to God, but it's like she call him on Wi-Fi, like 5G.
She got speed dial.
Yeah, she got speed dial. And one of the things is that when it ended, and you know, I went to my mailbox, I saw the divorce papers. I was sad for probably about 5 minutes. Then I prayed to myself after that. After that, I was good, because I knew it wasn't for me.
right. Yeah.
And I think the hardest thing is, and to some of my friends who are family who are close, in a way I had to get over. It wasn't that I was sad for missing her. It was just like I expected the first time ever being married
To be the last time.
to be the last
Yeah.
time.
Man, I be telling them. That's what I be telling you.
Yeah.
I got one time in me.
Yeah.
One time maybe. and then when you, as a kid, you grow up thinking that.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
And then when it divorce happens, you're like, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
You know? So I think more the conflict with me wasn't I wish her well. And I wish all the women well. I'm not evil. I don't want you miserable.
Yeah.
No.
God's gonna get you back. Yeah. I'm the same way. Hey,
No.
heal, live your life. I hope you grow.
I wish you well. She can come up and say, hey, you know, I ended up having a baby with the guy after I left you. I said, I hope that baby is healthy, and I wish that baby success. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not evil.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think the thing that really hit me was more so after the fact, because I was over the relationship. It was more so after the fact. Wow, I'm a failure. I felt like I was a failure,
Yeah.
and I shut down from wanting to have a serious relationship for years, for a while.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I can only
That makes
imagine.
sense.
I can only imagine going through it, like, because I'm the same way. But then I also thank God, because there's so many people where, you know, I thought, you know, if I date to marry, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If I'm going to be in a relationship with you, I see a future with you.
Yes.
So there's been so many where, like,
Yeah, we got to work on who you see a future in. we're working on that.
well, as you grow and you grow in your faith and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
grow as an individual, you start to just those people that might be your type. You see them do one thing, you're like, yeah, I'm not even going to pursue that. So
Yeah.
I'm a lot smarter in that aspect. But previous relationships, I really do thank God, because it's like I was so young, I was dumb, and then
Yes.
it's like, imagine if I did marry this person, it would 100% ended in a divorce.
Yes.
Then I have to go through the process of like, yeah, you feel like you let people down. It's like, dang, you know, I didn't just let myself down and the marriage down. Now it's like, well, you know, my mom, my stepdad, dad, stepmom, you know, anybody that's close to me, it's like, man, you know, that sucks too.
Yes.
Just like with the last one, my mom really like, and when I had to tell her what had happened, she's like, she couldn't believe it, and I just felt bad that she liked her, and you know,
Yes.
she's usually good at reading people, usually really good. Because I sent her something that I still said yes to, and she always says no. She can like read it, and she's like no. And then this one that she liked. So like when I had to tell the story, I like felt bad because she believed in her almost as much as I did, and I was like, all right. So I can only imagine going through that because that's a little crazy. What's like the biggest lesson that you learned from it? And if anybody is listening that went to a divorce, what advice would you give them?
I guess the biggest thing that I learned from that is to, like from my marriage, and it wasn't intentional. We all do it. I know we all wear masks and stuff, eventually, and then the real you comes out.
Right.
But I think it's very to be intentional on your intent. So meaning that this is me, and this is what I see for our marriage if we were to get married, and just saying the uncomfortable truths up front. And I think it gets easier as you get older.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like I lose interest quick now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, are you Christian? No? Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
You have a good day. Thank you.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, do you want children? No? Okay, I'm out. You know what I mean? So it's like, it becomes more, I know it sounds like very rigid and business oriented, but it's like as you get older, time is like, it's not that time is you're looking as it to rush.
Yeah.
You're just looking at it as prioritized.
Exactly.
I don't want to waste your time.
How long did you date before you got married? How long were you all dating?
We were dating for about a year and change. So in total, it was like 2.5.
2.5 years.
With the marriage and stuff. Yeah, we were dating for about a year and change.
How would you tell, so for somebody like, because me and Brandon have two different perspectives on this.
Yeah.
I take way more time during that process than he will.
Right, too much time.
Maybe too much time, but I promise you.
I know where you go.
But what do you think is a healthy amount of time from dating to? I know obviously the older that you get, the more that time span kind of does shrink. But what do you feel like is a healthy amount of time moving from dating to engagement to marriage?
Brother Flynn, how old are you?
I'm 29.
29.
Yeah, don't be lying about your age.
Hey, come on, man. Brandon trying to put years on me like you do you.
Next year I'm going to be 40. You're like, oh, he's 40.
I feel like next year I'm 40.
I guess I got twofold to that. I don't believe in timetables.
Okay.
Because every relationship is different. I can name examples of people who only known the person for a month. They got married, and then they've been married till they die. You know, because everybody's story is different,
right?
And you have to keep in relation to where that person is and the experiences they have. Now, because of me being married, it is different. Even if you live with the woman, which I don't recommend, but let's say
I agree. I don't recommend either.
Yeah, let's say you're dating, you live with your lady, and then you're married. Obviously, you live with your woman. It's different.
Yeah.
Because when you're just dating, right, you can leave.
Yeah.
Right. All right, this ain't working. I'm out. Right. And then you can leave. When you're married, you can physically leave.
Yeah.
But you can't spiritually leave. Right? You can't financially leave.
You can't even legally leave.
You can't legally leave. You know what I mean? It is different.
Yeah.
So it is a different standard that it puts on people. Now, I do believe, as a Christian, I believe in marriage. When I say this, please stay in the context when I'm saying this. But a lot of times, the marriage that we tend to think of, it's better suited in a way for younger people. Because when you're younger, and you're still developing who you are as an adult, it's easier for that man and woman to mold together.
Yeah.
Right.
You see, when you're 30 plus,
You're already in your.
You're in your
I'm
ways.
set in my ways.
Yeah.
I like watching my TV till 1 a.m. Right? I like eating this. I like doing this. I go to bed at this time. And then to try to mess somebody else who might be like that too, there's conflict there.
Right.
And especially if the person has a pet, you don't. You know, a person has a kid, you don't.
Right.
Yeah, especially the kids.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah.
That's
So-
life nowadays.
As you get older, there's more stuff you have to manage to fit in.
Right.
But when you're younger and you're goofy and you still don't not knowing, you're still figuring out stuff.
You get to figure it out together.
You figure out together. And next thing you know, your normal is suited for a pair.
Right.
Right. But a lot of us older people walking around single, we already know who we are.
Right.
Like when you're pretty much this age, you are who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just to try and get somebody else to come in to that is very challenging. So I would say it depends on the person's history, their age, and their beliefs. Now, me being Christian, even though I'm older, like I said, even though I had that past experience with the marriage that led to divorce, I still believe in marriage.
Yeah.
And I still would never put a timetable on anybody, really, because you can't. You know what I mean? It's too dynamic. You can't.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
relationships are.
Yeah. And then if somebody's taking forever, I would say, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And if you're taking too fast, I would say, what are you in a rush? And that's-
Yeah.
I ain't in no rush, man.
and it's not to dissuade the person.
Right,
It's
right,
just, I'm just asking. You have to ask yourself that.
Yeah,
What
of
am I
course.
in a rush for?
Why are you in a rush?
And what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Because perfection will never come.
Right.
No.
It won't. Absolutely will not.
It will never come.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's all a journey in itself. Obviously, like you said, everybody has their own number one individual journeys that you're trying to bring together with this other person. Obviously, like you said, the older that you get, you become you and they become them, and then you have to join these two maybe very different people together. So it does often it's going to be friction. It's going to be a lot of conflict. Obviously you're going to learn things about people. Maybe they might be a little bit crazier than you thought. I always tell people, I'm like, marriage is really just about finding the type of crazy you're willing to deal with for the rest of your life. Yes. What's your threshold for this?
Yes.
If you like girls that jump around and do flips on the couch in the middle of the day and that's your thing, cool. But if that aggravates you, that's not your type of crazy.
Yes.
If you like the girls that, hit you, that's your type. You figure out what you're willing to deal with.
I mean, they keep things exciting. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, see, that's how you get set up. That's how you get set up.
I already been set up.
Not again, brother. Not again.
Not again.
Not again, brother. Not again.
No. I learned my lesson.
Not again.
That was one of the best lessons I ever learned.
No, not again. And that's why I said, because human behavior is too complex.
Yeah.
And human interaction is too complex. But I think the thing is that as you get older, you become more intentional about your intent.
Yeah.
So you ask the important questions up front.
Early on, yeah.
And I think you have to be unafraid of losing somebody. Because if you're willing to compromise the things that are important to you, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for some anguish. You know what I mean? So I think you have to be unafraid to lose somebody and say, that's probably not the person for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I talk a lot about, because I talk to Brandon about this all the time. I'm in constant wars on my TikTok because I try to stress the importance of premarital conversation and that you guys should talk about everything. Just because something is obvious to you doesn't mean it's obvious to this person who came from a different place, grew up differently, raised by different people, around different people. Just because it's obvious to you doesn't make that obvious to them. And there's a bunch of people yelling at me, say they should just know this. That's just common sense. I'm like, common sense really depends on where you grew up around and what's common from where you're from.
It ain't common.
So, right, it's not in common sense. Also, in general, it's not common. So, I'm a big proponent of you should talk. If you have your cleaning schedule, what days do you clean of the week? How many loads of laundry do you feel like we should be doing a week? You should run down as many of those things as possible. So that way, ideally, there's no surprise. Obviously, sometimes things do change, like you talked about, unfortunately, in that situation. But ideally, if you can run down all those things and have those discussions about it, you guys can figure something out together.
Yes.
Ideally.
And I think and that's very important. You said that too, is too, because people are going to change.
Yeah.
You might like somebody as
Right.
They're going to change. You know what I mean? When you live in a fantasy, you think that's going to be forever.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It would be nice. But you've changed. I've changed. You know what I mean? So people are going to change. You know what I mean? So I think giving people room and the freedom
Absolutely.
that you're going to change. But I think there should be some things that we can't change on. Like you can't come in saying, hey, we're a Christian household, and then a year later you want to go
Somewhere
become
else.
an atheist or something. I can't live with that.
Yeah,
You
right,
know?
right.
You
Yeah,
know, you got to have stuff you can't compromise on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
And that's
people
why
change.
it's important too, especially like being a Christian and then like rededicating, actually trying to live better that way.
That's good.
Is you gotta get into a relationship with people that are equally yoked.
Yes.
And like know the fruits of the spirit. And I thought I was doing that, but then it's like, all right, you're not. And I was like, I did this. I was like, I'm doing everything right, you know. It's like, why did it still not work out? Why did it still not work out? It's like, all right, come on, God.
Yeah.
I already did all the bad ones, man. What's going on here? You know, I thought I was a person that, you know, was Christian, you know, prayed, read the Bible. I'm like, yeah, you know, we good.
Nope.
But hey, sometimes no. Yeah, it's more than that.
Yeah,
It's
the
more
part
than
that you were missing is that you weren't listening to me when we talking about.
The problem was I wasn't listening to a multitude of counsel.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
I wasn't getting my discernment.
Right.
I just labeled it as me being, you know, codependent or something.
Yeah, an anxious attachment. You was calling yourself that nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
I don't claim that for you, brother.
I like this. I like this, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we eventually learned that it was discernment, and you know,
Yes.
thank God for that. But now we're in a single season of singleness.
Because you gotta, like, you know this too. Growing up at the church, Brandon, you may figure this out. Even when people say they're Christian,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
right?
different.
Like, there's some churches who want to who don't let ladies preach,
right. Yeah,
right? There's in the Bible, blah blah blah. There's some ladies. My mother's a preacher,
yeah.
so there's some churches. If she was to walk in, they would not let her even come on the pulpit. So there's levels. You gotta ask in-depth questions.
What type of Christian? Where did you? What denomination did you grow up in? What do they believe in? What's your Sabbath? You know, what denomination did you grow up in? Out of curiosity.
We're non-denominational.
Non-denominational?
Yeah, non-denominational.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I go to Bible base on early. Shout out to my church.
Yeah.
Bible base and then non-denominational. They just, if it's in the Word, you believe it.
Yeah,
That's the easiest way. You can
Right.
never
if it's
be
in the Bible.
confused.
Yeah. If it's in the Bible, if it's in,
There's no confusion there.
Right.
If it's in the Bible, it's there.
Right.
yeah, anytime someone says something to me, I say, "Is it in the Bible?" Let me go. Let me see.
Everything is in there. If it's in there,
Yeah,
It's
and
true.
That's
Right.
what you live. That's what you live by. If it ain't, all right, then no,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna do it. All right, to wrap things up here, share a relationship story with us that you probably, I guess, that like transformed your life. I think transform your life is such a stupid word to say, but like redirected your life. What failed relationship did you have that gave you a redirection in life, or you learned the most from? Because we talk about ours and what we learn from it all the time. But what failed relationship did you get the most from, and what did you get from it?
well, I would probably say it was the most recent situation.
There we go. We like that.
There it is. Yep.
We like that. Yeah. It's because you're older now. You're thinking
Yeah,
more wiser.
yeah, it's the
and when
most-
stuff still fails, you're like,
Yes.
why?
So this year, you know, I was a young lady who I knew for a while, and then we eventually, you know, connected on a intimate level, and you know, we were heading towards the pathway of marriage. You know, we were talking about getting married, blah blah blah. Then I got engaged because we were in agreement that we were going to head down that way. Long story of things, some stuff started being revealed. I saw that we weren't on the same wavelength. And even though I thought it was, you know, my mom, my dad, my brother, family, friends, they thought we were,
Right.
but we weren't. And I never want to say anything to make it like, oh, I'm perfect or anything. Nobody's perfect,
Yeah,
like I
nobody.
was saying. But I did learn a lot from that in regards of is that I was more invested in this attempt to get married than I was in the first one. I was very serious. Like I felt like the woman in a way. I felt like the woman in a way with this relationship because I was like, okay, this is it. You know, person's been married before. I've been married before, so we kind of went through the fantasy.
Yep.
And it's just like we can get to the nitty gritty, the business.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that the way things were lining up, I was gonna be starting a new job. Then it came to work out, get a new place and stuff like this. So I was like, things is lining up. My birthday, and it's just like wow. But then I think what happened was after that chapter ended, that was really a refreshing for me. And it's funny how God works because it ends up saying the new job was for me.
Right.
The new place was for me. The new film that we're in editing right now that we finish was for me. And it collective, it's a team thing, but I say from the approach, from the spiritual standpoint,
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you
it
mean.
was for me. And if because of that, it motivated me to do certain changes that I wouldn't have done if she wasn't there. Do I wish things could have turned out better? Yes, I do. Because at that time, I was really invested. I was fully invested. And, we had our differences, our disagreements, and it just find like I was willing to. I was like Jello. I was willing to bend in a lot of ways, not give everywhere, but I was willing to bend in a lot of ways. But the person who I was engaged to wasn't. Especially on some important factors that I'm like, and for the fact is that after somebody gets engaged, like I really keep my stuff to myself, but I would post stuff and here and there. But for somebody who posts, then you get with me, we get engaged, and there's no post, and I'm just like, it's moving like a lady who doesn't want to be married.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
That's fair.
You got the rock, you got the jewelry that you wanted, and it was nice. My mama got it now. But you got the rock, you got the jewelry, and all that stuff, and it's just like no posts, no nothing. Like, where's the excitement?
Right.
And it's like I felt like the woman.
Yeah. That's that. I would agree with that's
In
a
a way.
telltale sign to be like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, if this is the thing that you decided and you posted everything, the thing is, I'm not a big social media guy. Like, I don't really be posting anything. But if you with somebody that's always posting, and then they decide, okay,
it is,
you posted what you had for breakfast yesterday.
Exactly.
It is different on that.
Yeah. It was just like that sudden change was just like, and then some things happening, and then, it kind of stuff went downhill from there. But I wish her well, wish her the best.
Right.
Very beautiful, and I know she'll be fine. But it's just like, I know I deserve better than that because I was more invested because I was older. I was out for a while. I was out on marriage after my divorce. Especially during COVID. COVID helped too, because COVID, we were living like barbarians. You know what I mean?
It was crazy.
So I was out of it for like 4-5 years. I was like, I ain't getting married. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not. It's a waste. It's blah blah blah. And then my outlook changed, and then I thought she would be the one to eventually be, but it didn't. And after it ended, I think that as you get older, you're able to deal with. Because we all get wounds and stuff if it don't happen.
Of course.
It's not that it doesn't hurt.
Right.
But compared to when you're 20 where you're hurting for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Or, you're just thinking constantly. Now you get hurt, it's like, that hurt for 10 seconds.
Right.
And I put the Band-Aid over it.
Mine hurt a little longer than that. Not 2 years anymore. We were talking about this. I'm like, some of the things I went through this year is like, this is what I would have considered this rock bottom, 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
But now it's like, that's life.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So it's like, people are going to be in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You just got to figure out what it's going to be and have enough peace and grace within yourself to whatever God decides, if it's a season, a reason, or a lifetime, let it be.
Yes.
So
I also think the older that you get, the more your level of acceptance of things just kind of grows. I've been saying it for years. I'm like, it is what it is because it can't be what it's not. So that's just that's what happened.
can't
Okay,
be what it's not.
It can't be what it's
that's just where we're at right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's a perfect. I like that. I'm gonna steal that.
It is what it is because it can't be what it's not.
It can't be. Yeah. So it's just a thing where now going into it, I would like to meet a lady. A lady who wouldn't,
right?
A good lady. But I I'm in a way of being aware, but I'm not out there trying to pursue or anything like this. But I'm not going to turn something good down.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I was, even as a Christian, I was shut down personally. I believe in marriage. Don't get me wrong. I always did. But for me personally, I was shut down against marriage after my divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that's a natural. That's a natural progression.
Human thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a human thing to do. Because when I was in high school and my girl left me for my best friend in high school. I was like, I'll never be in a relationship. And that lasted. So I'm like 18 years old. So 16, 17, like 17. I think it was like junior year. So I was like 17 because I graduated at 18.
Next girl came by.
No, I didn't date for a long time. And I was like, I was just using it for my self-validation at the time. And then, obviously you get older, you're a little bit more mature. You get in some failed relationships. You're like, all right, screw relationships. And you're like, all right, well, they're not the bad. They're not the worst. But I'm fully prepared. Whatever God has in store, if it's for me to be single, because there are people that will stay single forever. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It's called life.
Yes.
It's like whatever His plan is for me, I'm just gonna pray that I have the wisdom and discernment to hear it and follow through with it. But right now. Nothing. We just focus on the mission. Focus on God and the mission right now. That's
it. I like the fact that because I'm gonna follow you after this, Cleon, obviously, of course. But I like the fact that Brandon, because I know you guys be working late, and then your brother still be going to church.
He does. Shout out to him.
Yeah, I like respect.
Yeah,
respect.
He be trying to get me out there.
Yeah, you guys come play the organs. I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna be the background singer. You're gonna.
Brandon, if I go up there and play the organ and you're singing, I'm leaving.
Background singing. What, you think my singing's that bad?
I don't know, but I
don't know. You put some music behind it, it's not gonna sound that bad. Yeah. Hey, and the whole point of worship isn't about how good your voice sounds. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got you there.
So just give him a mic, but don't turn it on.
I'm in charge of the media. I'm gonna make sure it's on.
Brandon, growing up in church, when you grew up, because I grew up playing, in the church.
Yeah,
so when you're playing behind something that sound crazy, sometimes not to say that you sound crazy, just in general, when something sound crazy, it's kind of hard to. You're trying to find it. It's hard to hide what your facial looks. And you were in a small church, so everybody's looking at me, look up in the air, trying to figure it out.
You stand out.
What's this dude trying to sing over here?
What song is this?
Don't worry about it, man.
He didn't do no rehearsal or nothing like that.
Just play it. We'll be all right.
But I'm pretty sure the Lord loves it, though.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
all about the heart.
Yeah, 100%. You got anything that you want to close up with a question? I know you're usually good at this, Cleon. Because my was just back. What are your last thoughts? What else do you want to leave the people with? Cleon's good at the whole. So we talked about this. And what are your thoughts that you want to leave the viewers with today? You got a question?
You just stole my. I'm So since we're here, obviously, once again, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Joining us.
Thank you for helping my knee.
Yes, and also thank you for helping.
You got to owe me about 1,000 more things.
Obviously, our biggest thing that we talk about here is relationships, and one of the biggest things that me and Brandon say is like we can't tell you how to have. We can't really talk to people about marriage, really. But as somebody who's been there, obviously you've seen the pros and cons of it. But what do you feel like is kind of the most valuable thing that can come from a union that's bonded together, and what it's supposed to be?
I'll use my parents for example.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I think any man would love, and any woman would love, but speaking as a man, my mother never tried to change my father, and then my father never tried to change my mother. Have they changed over years? Yes, but what I mean by that is that the person who my dad is, that's how he is around us. That's how he is around other people. That's how he is around my mom. And my mom accepted all of that as he is. She might have said, hey, instead of doing X, Y, Z, how about try it like this? But it wasn't to change him. It was just saying, let me just polish this up a little bit.
Right.
I think that we're so in tune with trying to change. Oh, I got to change the other person. How about we just polish each other up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would love for a woman just to come and accept any man would to accept all of me as I am and say that's him. You might want to try polishing this area up a little bit. But if I like watching movies, I like watching action movies, I like eating sushi. Love me because I like watching action movies. I like eating sushi. Might say, hey, when you watch your action movies, let's put this futon under your feet and watch it like that. Oh, I'm still doing my same thing. Not changing me, but polishing.
Right.
When you watch your sushi, how about when you eat your sushi? Sorry, how about you put this sauce on it? Polishing.
Right.
Not changing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think the thing is, I would. That's a good relationship.
Yeah.
When people
Less
accept
controlling.
who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I'm a big fan of that. I think that the best relationships are the ones where you end up better because of it. And that's one of the things that I'm thankful for in my current relationship is that for her and I, from when we met to now, a whole bunch of things have changed. Basically, what the things that we value. Number one, like being healthy, being working out, the way that we're eating. So she thankfully cooks, and she cooks very well. But when we first got together, she was cooking things that were very heavy, you know, very basically bad for us. On it tasted great, but bad for us. But as we transition into healthier lifestyles, because obviously coming from an African American background, she's from a Hispanic household. We eat things that are bad for us, which cause us not to live long and healthy lives. So we see that now. Okay, let's get into that, right? So now we're on a better path there, better path with being more consistent and making sure that we're active. Also on a better path in terms of talking about our finances. Unfortunately, once again, we're always starting from behind. We end up in debt, like you talked about. So you get together. Your debt is now a part of what's going on in this marriage. It's now one of those things where we have to be mindful of how we spend our money because you have to pay that off. I have to pay this off because that's government stuff. You know what I'm saying? They will come and get you for that. So we need to make sure we're on the same page on how to do those things. So the same sort of thing is that obviously when we got together, I ain't care. I got a student debt. I don't care. I ain't care about it. But it's like, hey, so I have a plan to pay myself off. You need to have a plan to pay it because if we're going to be together for a long time, I don't want that growing interest for the rest of our, time together. And now we got $60,000 each that we gotta go pay off that we're being held hostage by. So little things like that, just getting each other better, especially from a mental standpoint, I think is one of the most important things that in a part of a relationship, and that's obviously this type of person that you want to build with on a long-term basis.
That's polishing.
That's polishing.
Look at that,
That's polishing. Yeah.
Polishing.
I'm gonna see a post with Brandon. You say, "Oh, polishing." Polishing. Still,
You know the vibes.
go Debo the whole thing.
Yeah.
How long have you been with your?
It's a little muddy on that. So it's because it was one of those things to which, like you talk about being intentional with your intent. Yes. Brandon and I are very different. And Brandon's dating to marry. I was like, we just here. We gonna figure it out. So as far as we've known each other probably for 5 years now. Obviously, when we both decided that this was going to be the thing that we're going to be doing, you know what I'm saying? It's somewhere in there in that time, but we've been together at least we've known each other for probably the last 5 years at least, I think. Yeah. So yeah, a decent amount of time.
For?
Huh? And Brandon likes to come to me with that. What am I waiting for? First of all, I'm not playing with you today. I've run down the list of things that I have to make sure are taken care of before we get there. It's like I tell her, I'm like, ideally,
Cleo want to take it slow. Make sure it's right.
Make sure it's right. We gonna do it. We're gonna do this one time and one time only. And cue the music.
No, I understand. I understand. No, much respect. And that's what I said. Is just the polishing, and then being surrounding yourself around people who are where you're trying to get to.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're trying to listen to your friends who are in and out of relationships, trying to give you advice, or who've been in failed relationship after failed relationship after failed, or toxicity, all that stuff. It's like, be careful who's in your ear.
Absolutely.
Be careful, very careful who's in your ear, and because that can affect you.
Yeah.
And then, like you saying, having that discernment to be able to waver through. And one of my other gripes is too when people say, "Oh, you should have just picked better," and I'm like, who goes in wanting to pick bad? Who goes in saying, you know what, I'm going to pick the worst person I could? Nobody goes
Yeah.
saying trying to pick bad. I mean, but things things happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I've been guilty of, telling people to pick better. But my thing comes from a place of, if you're in, like you said, failed relationship after failed relationship, because of certain things, because the main thing that I've been talking about with people is like, you're talking about being manipulated and abused.
Yeah.
There's a pattern among people like that.
Yes.
So being able to recognize what that looks like at the beginning, ideally prevents you from having being in it for a long time. Honestly, if people are gonna, you can't, certain things that you can't predict, but certain things like that, recognizing behavior patterns, so you don't end up in bad place after bad place after bad place. Some things just end, and that's just what life is. But other things, sometimes bad people just be bad, and all bad people have a certain thing about them that you ideally should be able to see the more and more. Like Brandon, you know what girls are crazy now.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I like how they look, but I do not go and engage in conversation. There's a few that I know right now. There's like,
you can see it.
I will appreciate how great you look.
They just coming after
Yeah.
him. Huh? They
And
coming.
Brandon lives a tough life, man. I'm telling you.
I won't have no other conversation. I was like, man, this is my type. This is my type.
Yeah.
Tina, nice little booty, cute face, and I'll be like,
Dangerous.
do one thing. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. I don't think that's gonna work. You drink on a Sunday, I gotta go. Even though I used to do that every Sunday. Oh, you drink at work? Nah, I gotta go.
Can't do
I'm
it.
outta-
Yeah.
Oh, you're a bottle server? Nah, I gotta go.
Yeah, glad.
Yeah,
Glad we can
hire
ride
you?
it.
Oh no.
I gotta go. Oh, you're going out on a Friday? Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get up out of there.
That's tough. Like, because my situation, I'm dry. Like, I'm dry right now. I ain't got no love.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing. But to be in a situation where it's constant coming, that's tough.
Yeah.
But working in our profession, obviously, it makes that. Unfortunately, the options are much more expanded. And Brandon goes out to a lot of like events and stuff like that, where it's very easy to meet people.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's after a certain amount of time, like it's just easy to just hide and turn down anything
Yeah.
that you don't want.
Look at this guy.
But
Look at this
the
guy.
main thing is not approaching the things that you do want. That you know would be bad for you. Like you've
Yeah.
seen something that the way that they move or the way that they act, and you're like,
Yeah, you're like,
can I change her?
I can save her.
I can polish you.
Right?
She might not be like that with me though.
Yeah.
She ain't never had me in her life.
Brandon's got all the Marvel tattooed on him. He's like, I can save
save-
something.
Hey, she ain't never been with a guy like me. You know, she might act different.
She might do that with them.
Yeah, exactly.
But I tell you what, man, people will show you who they are. You just gotta believe it.
There it is.
Yeah.
You gotta believe it. Don't matter what you're feeling,
Gotta
saying.
believe
So, anybody watching got any questions? You gotta ask. Got a couple people on there. So,
Do you have
got any questions? No. I'm asking. I'm asking. If you watching and you got a question, put it in the chat
Put it in the chat, man.
before we wrap up here. You know what I'm saying?
Should have asked him for that 5 minutes ago while we were talking.
Oh yeah. Well, I was waiting for you guys to finish the point.
Oh,
It was a very valid,
That was nice of you.
very valid point.
Now, this is top notch, though, man. I'm gonna tell everybody this is top notch in here. I love the studio.
Yeah,
I love the
appreciate
set.
it,
It's comfy in here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to make it like pretty cool, pretty good vibes.
Took us months.
It did
All
take
the
it.
wiring, I see. Oh, we gotta get this, gotta get that, gotta get that.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It took a little
We
while.
messed it up a few times. That's why we got to go through these
few?
mental checks now. A few.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to downplay, Brandon. We're
I know,
professionals.
man. In the setup, it's like you got setup, breakdown. Like, man, I can't wait till we have a media team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got a whole production team just doing it for us. We just come
We
in
just
and talk,
come in,
man.
be the talent, man.
Just come be the talent, man. One of these days, but all right. If what up?
I have a question.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, someone else a question?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna say this on air. 'Cause I'm gonna get proof.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Would y'all potentially be interested in one of our films?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I would.
My knee is good now. I can move.
You can move now.
Yeah. My knee wasn't good, so I couldn't do that. I'll do the next
See,
one. Yeah.
I was gonna have him get beat up by our leading lady.
What? Oh.
I was gonna have him get beat
You
up.
gonna give me that PTSD?
Hey, brother.
You do not know my
Yeah, no.
you do not know my background? Is she Latina?
Yes.
Based
Sign
on a
me
true
up.
story,
Sign
you
me
gotta
up.
put that at the beginning.
I'm leading them down the path.
Hey, sign me up,
Hey
baby.
man, you gotta fight. You gotta face your demons, man.
I'm here with you, bro. I'm here with you.
Yeah, sign me up for that. Hey.
Well, that was for this movie that we finished. But for the next
Well,
one,
you
I haven't
could
started
you could
writing
just
yet.
make another
Another
clip just in case you want to use it. Now. Sign me up for that. What she look like? No, I'm kidding.
Brandon's like, can I pick her?
I got a few options.
I know a couple girls that probably want to hear.
Oh man.
But yeah, man, absolutely will be definitely, trying to get out there. Brandon loves being on screen. Brandon was in a commercial.
I did do a commercial. Yeah,
Where?
before Brady's commercial, like a year and a half ago, right before. Maybe it was before last football season or the one before.
He never
Maybe
says
2 years
anything.
He's
I didn't do anything. I just was playing like a football player in there. So I got to put on shoulder pads and a helmet again. That was pretty nice.
You should have said something.
I don't know. I done forgot. I only did it one time.
You should have said something.
We'll pull it up, man. I got the clip somewhere on my phone.
Didn't
I'll
you?
show
When
you.
we have the watch party, I'm gonna invite y'all.
Yeah, I'll go to that.
Definitely.
Just make sure that other director is not on the same panel as you.
Who?
I can't watch that video again.
Oh no! I'm talking about like the personal, like art. Just art.
Yeah, we'll do that.
No, but I would walk out if.
We'll get my popcorn refill during this time.
Yeah, I'll be like, let me head out real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Right.
Literally. All right. So if no other questions, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you, Tarik, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And hope you guys learned some good life lessons on marriage and going through a divorce and the mentality of that. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week.